tonight? Is tonight the night heavily in the conversation? Let's just go through some of these milestones. 4 premierships, 81, 82, 83 and 9 and 86. Coined twice as the man of the match, 82, 83. Later, retrospectively, they become Clive Churchill medals. 2 Kangaroo Tours in 82 and 86. Challenge Cup 85. Wins the Challenge Cup. 9 and 85. He gets the Lance Todd Trophy for man of the match. So as you can see, absolutely loves the big stage. Golden Boot Award winner in that same year and named in the NRL team of the 80s of 2004. A Hall of Famer for the National Rugby League. And as I said, Fletch tonight could become an immortal. And I'm pleased to say he joins a run home with Joel and Fletch. G'day, Brett.
Bert. We got it? No. He's not there, Shug.
He hasn't got a mortal phone reception by the sounds of it, but what a player. What a player, Brian.
Unbelievable.
What?
There he is.
Brett Kenny joining the run home with Joel and Fletch. Take 2. You there, mate?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Here he is, the bird. So tell us about how the day goes down. Have you got the suit on ready to go? Are you having a few drinks with someone somewhere? How does today play out?
Oh, mate, at the moment we're trying to get in the motel room. It's just trying to get in. You can't get in there now, so...
Hang on, Bert.
Finally, here we go.
Oh, it's one of the clicky jobbies. Is it a scanner or do you insert the key?
No, mate, you got to scan it. It's one of those ones. One of those. But we got it now. It's all done.
Oh, that's good.
I saw you
give us a bit of a description of the room. Where have they put you up the NRL?
Oh, I'm sorry? The NRL? No. We've had to do this ourselves. It's not the NRL haven't put me up anywhere.
Oh, Bert.
Well, based on your appraisal of Ray Gunn, now, Ray Gunn, is the room better or is Ray Gunn better, Bert?
No, the room, definitely. No. Definitely better.
Is there a mini? Is there a mini bar, Bert? Can you go to the mini bar? Can you tell us what's in there?
The mini bar. I don't know. I can go upstairs, eh?
Oh, upstairs. Hang on.
Hang on.
Whoa! You're in a suite. You're in the penthouse.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. I'm still going up here, walking up the stairs.
It's very flash.
And oh, gee! I tell you what, I've got my own kitchen and everything. Can you?
Oh, how many Brascos you got, Bert? How many Brascos? Can you count them?
How many who?
Brascos.
And what the hell are they?
Brasco's a bathroom.
A toilet.
Oh, oh no, mate! I've only got the one.
Oh, okay.
That's downstairs. Yeah, that's the one downstairs. So I've got a laundry and everything.
Oh, this is flash.
Hey, Bert, let's get
Mate,
back to
I'm
rugby.
staying overnight. Sorry?
Let's talk a little bit of football before we start getting bombarded with text saying you've got a future immortal on. You're talking about Brascos. I just want to ask you about the man of the matches in the grand final, the Australian Games, the Lance Todd Trophy. But what do you put down as your greatest 80 minutes of rugby league ever?
Oh, mate, it'd be hard to put down to one. Obviously, the 81 grand final. That was the first grand final I'd ever played in, and obviously the first grand final Parramatta won. So that's very special, and to be able to have scored 2 tries in that game was very special. But also, I guess playing Origin in 1985, and we won the series for the first time, Game 2, Sydney Cricket Ground, scored the last try of the game. So a lot of people thought that won the game. I'm happy to. If they think that way, that's great. But we were in front at the time. But so there's that, and then also obviously my first test playing for Australia over in England, 1982, was a very special moment. So it is difficult to put down to one specific 80 minutes of football, but I guess I was very fortunate, to be able to play in those games, and that's.
Hey, Bert, when you made your debut, when you first got to Parramatta in 1980, would that be right? Is that the first year you're at the club?
Yes, yeah, 1980, yes.
How was it when you walked into the room, and did you and Sterlo automatically hit it off?
Oh, no, look, I was in 1980 I was graded as an under-23s player, and so I always remember I walked into the dressing rooms at Cumberland Oval, the old timber dressing rooms, and I noticed guys walking into this little room, and I'd put my bag down where I was going to sit, and I sat down. And I noticed these guys walking into this little room, had no idea what they were doing, so I thought, I'll go and have a look. And yeah, it's where you went in to get strapped, and I'd never been strapped before. I was playing junior football at Guildford, never ever had my ankles strapped or anything, and here these guys were getting ankles and that strapped, so I thought, well, that's what the go is, so that's what I did. I really didn't need to have it done, but I thought that's what happened. I did it ever since, and so yeah, it was all new to me, and so I was on the bench for the first few games and never got a start, but it was good. It was nice to know. I was thinking, well, here I am now playing grade football.
So how many of those, like Steve Ella was obviously a local junior as well, how many in that squad were legit Parramatta juniors?
Well, you look at the back line in 81 and you would have, with the exception of Mick Cronin and Steve McKenzie, who come from the Central Coast, well, I guess Sterlo, you'd say class Sterlo's coming from Wagga. Everyone else in the back line was local juniors. The two back rowers, I think, were local juniors, and the front row, with the exception of Steve Edge, were local juniors.
So growing up...
there was only two or three.
Yeah, so growing up, you would have played with a couple and you would have heard, like the older blokes, you would have... Was the Parramatta Junior League, like, can you remember it playing like A grade? Was it of quite a high standard?
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, I got as far as C grade, and then I got graded at Parramatta after the end of the C grade season. But yeah, the competition was very strong. A grade competition was very strong, and there was a lot of guys running around. There was guys running around in the Guildford A grade that had played under 23s for Parramatta, and have come back. And that's what happened with me at times. If I didn't get a start, they might say to you during the week, well, look, you're not going to be in the top 15, so you can go back and have a run with Guildford. And that's what we used to do. But, the competition was very strong. The guys that I ended up playing first grade with, I never really played with or against in junior football. It was amazing. But we all sort of come through within a year of each other to start playing first grade.
Hey, Bert, just want to ask this question. So I went back only about 12 months ago and watched the grand final of the Challenge Cup, and that was one of the great games. Yep. It was Wigan versus Widnes. Am I right in saying that? Wigan versus Widnes?
Hull.
Hull. My apologies.
Wigan versus Hull.
Wigan versus Hull. And three players in particular, Johnny Chicka Ferguson, yourself and Peter Sterling, all had, on the same occasion, absolute blinders. What's your sort of recollection of, finishing a season over here and then going over to play? And do you have any views about the Super League maybe going back to the winter competition? And that is one of the great games to watch.
Well, mate, it was certainly a great game to be involved in. It was something I didn't know much of or much about when I was over there. To be honest, I nearly cost us the chance to play in the final. We were playing in the semi-final. I threw a bad pass. The bloke intercepted. We pulled him down just short of the try line. We were able to hold on and win the game. If he scores, the opposition won. But it wasn't till after that game that I realised just how big this Challenge Cup final was. And they were telling me, the other guys were telling me, they said, well, they'll buy us, they'll get us a blazer. They got us a complete suit, plus shoes. We were outfitted. It was unbelievable. And to play at Wembley Stadium, and I know it's been knocked down and rebuilt, but it was just a magnificent atmosphere, and I couldn't believe, like, in the dressing rooms, everything was tiled, and they love baths. They got big bathtubs over there, and it was like a diving pool, the bathtub. It was so big, and it was all tiled, and then when you walked out of the dressing room, the opposition team were directly opposite. The doors were directly opposite each other. So then you walked out and you were side by side with your opposing player. and it was like deathly silence walking up this tunnel, and you could see the light at the end, and as soon as the crowd saw the chairman of both clubs coming out into view, plus the ball boys, they all started cheering and singing and everything, and it was just amazing. 100,000 people, and
Wow.
it was just something I'd never experienced before, and I've never experienced since. But yeah, magnificent atmosphere, and it was very easy to perform there in front of that crowd.
The rumour goes, Bert, and I've not yet seen this, but you were so relaxed before a game, and a member of the royal family went to shake your hand and you brushed them, or there was... What's the story related to the royal family in that game?
Well, mate, it wasn't... Princess Di wanted to be there, but unfortunately, she wanted to meet me, but she couldn't get the chance. She couldn't make it. But no, we had a guy, it was the Duke of Gloucester. And I was a bit disappointed because I was expecting the Queen or someone. I thought, well, in the rugby union, they had the Queen come down and shake hands. But anyway, it was the Duke of Gloucester. And what had happened was, it was a bit cool. And I had my hands I had a tracksuit top on, and I had put my hands in my pockets. I just didn't know what to do with them. I just felt uncomfortable. So I put my hands in the pocket, and every time I was introduced to someone, I took my hand out, shook hands, and put it back in again. It was only just and they thought that was being rude, and I wasn't trying to be rude at all. All I was doing was just keeping my hands warm, so that when I shake hands with them, and all they wanted to do was have a talk about Australia, because I was introduced as Brett Kenny, our Australian player, and the people that I spoke to said, "Oh, what's it like back home?" Blah blah blah. I said, "Oh, yeah, this, that, and the other," and kangaroos jumping all around the streets and stuff like that. But that's what it was, and yeah. So I never meant to be rude or anything like that. It was just I just wanted to put my hands in my pocket, kept them warm, and shook hands with everyone that went past. And it was the Duke of Gloucester. Yes, I don't know whether he's classed as royalty, but.
If you're a Duke,
that's who it was.
I'll tell you what was classed as royalty was the steak at the Duke of Gloucester near you, Brian. Is that still around?
Yeah, no, it's not. It used to be.
Yeah.
But the pub's still there.
How good was it?
It's, yeah. Hey, Bert, why? Tell us this.
Yeah.
The great Jack Gibson coached you for those 3 premierships in a row. Why did he retire? Or sorry, not retire. Why did he leave Parramatta? And was it something that he just wanted a new challenge? Because then he went to Cronulla in '85. But what did he do '84?
Well, that's what I mean. I think that was what his whole thing. We were all shocked, all the players. I thought, here we are. We've just won our 3rd premiership in a row. Things are going well. We'll have Jack again next year. And he said, look, I'm done. I've had enough. And I think it was just he didn't like to be at a club for too long. And then you look at it, he's left on a great note. I mean, we just won our 3rd premiership in a row, and he's gone and said, well, that's it, I've had enough, and done. And I think that was it. It was just a case of, I might look for a new challenge, and this is what I've done here. I've done enough. I can't do any more. And so that was it. It was a bit of a shock, as I said, to a lot of the players. And then John Mooney took over, and I mean, talk about having the toughest job in the world. I mean, how tough would it be he's had to take over a side that had just finished with 3 premierships in a row, and everyone would be expecting them to win 4. He got us to the grand final. Unfortunately, we got beaten by the Bulldogs, but it was always going to be a tough assignment for him.
But during that year, during the '83 season, did you have any idea or a feeling that Jack was going to be his last coaching gig at the Eels? No, not really. I to be honest, I sort of didn't have a lot of conversations with Jack. He'd have a chat every now and then, but he probably spoke to the senior guys, Steve Edge and Ray Price, Mick Cronin. Spoke to those guys a lot more, and so yeah, I never sort of noticed anything to make you think, well, geez, he mightn't be here next year. But as I said, it was a big shock on grand final night, because that's when he made the announcement, and thought, oh, geez, a bit of a shock, I think, for everyone, including the Parramatta supporters.
Chatting with Hall of Famer Brett Kenny, and I want to get to the nitty-gritty of this, Bert, because when you really think about it, so there's been over 10,000 players now who have played at least one first-grade game through the New South Wales Rugby League, or now what we know as the National Rugby League, ARL, etc. So 10,000, and then the many, many more that would one day have loved to have played one NRL game. But tonight, you're on a short list in a big conversation about being the 14th immortal in the history of the game. Like, what's running through your mind today and the enormity of it? And no doubt, the interviews have completely gone up and you've been a very, very busy person the last few weeks. But what does this mean to Brett Kenny to this point right now?
Oh, well, I guess I'm sort of in a position like a lot of other people. I don't really know what's going to happen tonight. It's nice to think that, you're in that list and people obviously believe that you've done enough in the game or done enough for the game to be at least nominated to become an immortal. I mean, I mentioned it the other night on the Matty John show. You play the game. You don't play the game for these sorts of things. You play it because you enjoy playing. You love playing the game, and then if these sorts of things come up later on in your career or when your career's finished, it's obviously a bonus. And it was probably. I remember when they announced the first 4 immortals. I didn't think much of it. Once I saw it all, I didn't think, oh well, this is going to go on forever, and there'll be more and more. Maybe I might be a chance. Never ever thought of that, but. Here I am now, and I think it's in a lot of ways it's great just to know that you've been put on the short list. A lot of other players haven't been and may never get that opportunity. So it's something very special. I guess we'll just wait, see what happens tonight as to whether or not it's an even bigger and more special night for me.
Now, Bert, have you written a speech in case you get the nod? Are you going to try and maybe come up with something?
I meant to ask you, Fletch, if you could do something for me. Like,
yeah.
If you could write something out, it would have been nice, but not really. No, not really.
Have you got a fax there in your room? I can fax you. I can fax you something. Give us.
No, I haven't got a fax.
We need to know about this hotel room. Look out the window. What are we seeing?
Units. High-rise units.
Right.
No, be careful with that. I was working once.
And I can see South Dowling Street on my left as I'm looking out the window.
South Dowling Street? Okay.
So it gives you an idea.
Yeah.
So I'm not far from the cricket ground.
The stadium, yeah. That's right. I think I know where you are. I think I know where you are. Yeah. How many nights were you staying there? Just the one?
Yes. Yeah. No, I've got it. I've got everything here. It's a magnificent suite. Got everything here, and I'm only going to be here tonight, sleep tonight, and go home tomorrow.
Well, Bert, we better let you go because it is a big night. And so, what's the plans? Are you straight in the shower now, don the suit, and off you go? And who are you meeting up with? Are you having a few little settlers beforehand? And who would that be with?
Oh well, whoever's over at the cricket ground, which is where it's held at. No, I haven't made any plans along those lines. We just head over and then walk in and see what's going on, and obviously catch up with a lot of guys that have played with and against, and probably have a couple of drinks with them beforehand, and go in when we have to into the official room.
Well,
and
Bert,
then that'll be it.
Best of
Wait
luck,
and see
mate.
what happens.
Best of luck. I'm rooting for you.
All right.
I want you to get the cash tonight, and I want you to mention me in your speech.
Yes.
Somehow, get me in there, Bert. Get me in there.
I will. I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'll try.
Brett Kenny, no matter what happens tonight, you're either leaving an immortal or the wait's just going to happen, and you're eventually going to be there as far as Brian and I are concerned in any case. So may it be tonight. All the best, Brett Kenny, and enjoy it. It should be a beauty.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.